So in this video, I figured before I put my Glamlite palettes away, I would do this. I'm just curious if the blacks in all of these palettes are the same. I'm getting over a cold. I'm supposed to be resting, but I figured I would film one more video today. So yeah, we're gonna swatch all the blacks. Again, it's just something I'm curious about. Figured I would film it. So if that sounds interesting, stick around. If you're new, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. And yeah, let's jump in. So I have a pile here. Again, I need to put these away. So I figured I would film this. My voice is a little bit raspy. I have a cold. I've been sick this week. But I figured I would try and film this before I put the palettes away since I already have them out. I'm gonna go upstairs and lay down and rest and all that after I'm done, but this shouldn't take too long. So I have some wipes. Where did my other pack of wipes go? I'll look for them later, but let's jump in. I'm not going to do these in any particular order. We're just going to go down the stack. So let's see. This is the Kiss palette. There is a black. Let me take my watch off and we'll just start swatching down my arm. So this one is called Black Diamond. Now, theoretically, these should be the same. I might need a wipe. These ones are still good. Yeah, they are. Need to put a new pack in here. Okay. So that is, I use this finger. I'm gonna and then I'll wipe all three off at once. Okay. Then we have Ghost Face Lives. So the original Ghost Face, and this one is Vintage Mask. We'll just go right down. That one looks a little bit lighter. The Kiss black looked a little bit darker. Again, this is just something I was curious about because you would think that the blacks would be exactly the same. The Good Guys has a dark navy. That is not a black, and I don't believe there's a black in the Strawberry Shortcake either. Let me clean these off so I don't end up with try and dry my hands off so I don't mess up the shadows. I don't like dipping my fingers into the mattes a whole bunch because your oils from your hands can cause hard panning faster. Scooby-Doo, there's no black. Let's see, this is the red Nightmare on Elm Street. So this is Villain. I've used this black before. Looks about the same as the one from the Ghost Face, but again, not quite as dark as the Kiss black. And then let's see, where's the other Nightmare on Elm Street? Just so there's a little bit of uniformity, because there is a black called Burned in the green one. I don't love the shimmers as much as the regular. That seems like that's a dark. I'm gonna say that black seems like it's as dark as the Kiss. So it's interesting that there's slight variations depending on the palette. Not shocked because I know they've experimented with some different formulas, and I think they're constantly trying to switch up ingredients to help give consumers the lowest price point they can, that kind of a thing. But so there's that. Let's see, Trick or Treat. There's no shade names in here, but there is a black. So let's come over here. Oh, that looks really dark. That's a dark black. I'm going to say that was darker than the Kiss palette. So it's that one right there. And obviously that's not super straight line. Okay, let's see. This Scooby-Doo one, there's no black. I don't think that's a black. I think it's like a charcoaly gray with like an olive undertone. I don't think that's a black. Yeah, I think that's like a deep tealy shade that's in the other Scooby-Doo palette. I don't think those are blacks. Let's see, Halloween 2. We do have a black. Every Day is Halloween. Try and get a trying to get the same amount of product on my fingers so that we get even swatches. Again, not as dark as that one. I would say comparable to the ones that were in the middle. Let me get a new wipe. Just set that there. I'm gonna have to put a new pack in here. Okay, so it's interesting. So yeah, the Kiss palette and the Trick or Treat so far have the darkest blacks. The Friday the 13th is F13. There is a black in here. Looks equally as dark, maybe a little bit darker than the Trick or Treat. So the Friday the 13th, I think so far has the darkest black, and then Kiss and the Trick or Treat palette are second. So again, that's interesting. I'm trying to pick up the same amount of product. There is a black in the Chucky Love, Mad Love, whatever this palette's called, the Valentine. And again, I have used this black a fair amount. Not as dark as the one from the Friday the 13th, but I would say comparable to the one out of the Kiss palette. Ghostface Lives. There is a black. It's called Spooked. I would say that that is darker than the one in the original Kiss palette. Probably not quite as dark as the Friday the 13th, but comparable to the Sam Trick or Treat palette and the Kiss palette. So it's interesting that there's slight, I wouldn't say discrepancies per se, but there's some differences. The blacks are not all exactly the same. I mean, they're still dark, they're still black, they're still going to give you depth and all the things. I was just curious if it was the exact same shadow. It is not. They are, I think, tweaking it formula-wise ever so slightly with each palette, which is probably why they're not exactly the same. And then the last palette is the Rick and Morty. Is there a black in here? Can't tell. I think that's a dark gray color, so I don't think there's a black in here. But yeah, that is all the blacks. So how many did we do? 9 blacks. So again, the darkest blacks are going to be out of the new Ghostface, Returns, Trick or Treat, and Kiss. And then from there, I would say the blacks are all kind of at the same level. But yeah, excuse me, just something I was curious about. So if you've ever wondered, they're not exactly the same black. Thank you so much for being here. Again, make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, and hopefully I will see you in another video. Bye, everybody.